Okay.
My name is Josh Bounds. In an ancient Egyptian myth, a witch named Medea operated on an old man, replacing his blood with an elixir made up of the wings of an owl, the liver of a stag, the fillet of a snake, as well as many other unappetizing ingredients. Not that Medea. Several centuries later, an ancient Hebrew manuscript refers to a military leader named Nam who was treated for leprosy. According to the text, Nam was cured after a physician drew out his blood and replaced it with that of another. But the first transfusion, whose accuracy is undisputed, was performed in 1666 between a 32-year-old man and his donor, who happened to be a sheep. In the following years, transfusion was developed between humans, and today blood drives enable people like us to donate blood. And it is that blood that saves the lives of victims of serious accidents, patients undergoing heart surgery and organ transplants, and those receiving treatment for leukemia, cancer, and other diseases. According to MetLife.org, in an article entitled Being a Blood Donor, someone is in need of a blood transfusion every 2 seconds. And young donors are especially in need because they're typically healthier and more able to ensure a steady supply of blood. Today I'll explain how easy and nearly painless it is to donate blood, and I'll list the benefits you will receive as a donor and why there is such a need for a sufficient blood supply. It seems like the Red Cross and other medical organizations are always at schools and in the public looking for new people to donate. But this is because we always need blood for, like I said, other patients. And according to donatebloodnow.org, 34,000 units of red blood cells are needed on an average day. And while the need for blood is constant, the supply changes on like holidays because more people want to celebrate their holidays and not go donate blood, even though the need for blood typically increases. If a tragedy similar to 9/11 were to occur, the supply would be insufficient for the treatment of trauma victims unless donors like you take a few minutes out of your day and go donate a little bit of blood to help them. Also, storage and preservation requirements pose a threat to the blood supply. While red blood cells can be refrigerated for 42 days, platelets can only be used within 5 days of donation. Although the maintenance of an adequate blood supply is extremely important, it is even more important that the blood donated is clean and free of infectious agents such as HIV or hepatitis. If you are unsure about the presence of these agents in your blood, make sure you're tested before you donate. If you've gotten a tattoo or piercing within the last 12 months, you have to wait a little while and maybe be tested for hepatitis, just to make sure you don't transmit it. When you think of individuals receiving your donations, you might only think of the people that have suffered accidents or burns. And while a single car accident victim can require up to 100 pints of blood, 1 million people are diagnosed with cancer every year. And those patients will need blood on a daily basis when undergoing chemotherapy. And an additional 80,000 people in the United States suffer from sickle cell disease and require frequent transfusions in order to survive. Now that you've heard about the often insufficient blood supply and whom your blood can benefit, I can tell you how you can start saving the lives of those in need. In order to be comfortable donating, you should be familiar with the process. First, you must find a donation location near you. Luckily, UCM holds occasional blood drives, so you don't need to leave campus in order to donate. Last week there was a couple donation days, but sadly the next one is until June 19th. You can find out those days by visiting the UCMO's volunteer page. Walk-ins are always welcome, but those with appointments usually have priority. And according to the Save a Life Now organization that takes blood for UCMO, donors must be at least 16 years old, weigh 115 pounds, and be in good health. And if you've donated in the past 2 months, you should wait. When you arrive at the donation location, you'll be asked to read eligibility information and fill out a short history form and show at least one form of ID. And after that, a staff member will take you and administer a mini physical. They'll take your temperature, your pulse, and your blood pressure and ensure that your hemoglobin levels are correct. And the actual blood donation process only takes about 6 to 12 minutes, and 1 pint of blood is usually taken. Afterwards, you'll be asked to sit and enjoy refreshments while your body adjusts to the loss of blood. And if you feel all right after 15 minutes, you're free to go, knowing that the blood you've donated will help at least 1 to 3 people. There are also several benefits for you as a donor. Free food and drinks are provided after donation. According to an article about health benefits of blood donation from CNNhealth.com, by donating blood, you're removing small amounts of iron that can harm men especially and cause heart disease. And if you're worried about how much it will hurt or how your body will adjust afterwards, know that the donation process only takes about 30 to 60 minutes, but you'll only be in contact with the needle for about 10. And the nurses there have done this for a long time, so they shouldn't have to prick you more than once, but it does occasionally happen. And according to the Brookhaven National Institute.com, the volume of lost blood is replenished within 24 hours. So you should still drink plenty of fluids, but you'll know that happens. Now that you've heard about the insufficient blood supply and the simple way in which you can help solve this problem, imagine that a friend or family member's life depends on 1 or more transfusions. According to the American Red Cross website, if just 10% of all eligible donors donate, we wouldn't run low or we wouldn't run out of the blood supply. And your friend or family member would receive the blood that they need. By donating today, you can be part of that incredibly important 10% and ensure that up to 3 lives are saved with just 1 pint of blood. Someone needs a blood transfusion every 2 seconds, and by dedicating a small amount of your time to a simple process, you can help stabilize the blood supply for the future and save lives. I can say from experience that the small amount of discomfort outweighs the benefits. And I hope you'll join me by donating. Thanks.